Well, what's up, guys? This is Quadron. I'm bringing you a Nyx Assassin guide. I'm going to be looking at some high-level games for Nyx Assassin, at least one game in particular. I was looking at the week's Hall of Fame. I know Nyx Assassin's been really popular lately, so I wanted to check out the game. So 937 is the person we're going to be watching today. I've loaded up the game that some people had liked, so I'm assuming it's a pretty good game, like 12 likes, 2 dislikes so far on it. And I'm going to be following 937 as he/she plays the game, and it'll be really interesting to see, what item build and basically how she plays the hero. Now, Nyx Assassin is a semi-carry, really strong mid hero due to his survivability. Right off the bat, let's take a look at the items that this player picked up. 937. He/she went with a Mantle of Intelligence. I'm going to assume it's just to say it's a he, the generic he. Sorry, feminists. But he went with a Circlet, a Mantle of Intelligence. This gives you survivability as well as some attack damage. So this gives, only 2 attack damage, but survivability and some mana. And more importantly, it can be built into a Dagon later, with the first being built into whatever it's called, the little armband for... let's switch out of the free perspective. So it can be built into a null talisman. Sorry, I couldn't think of the dang name. But basically, with a Dagon can be built with the Staff of Wizardry, the null talisman, and the recipe. And so this already builds into your future items when a Dagon is very standard. And mana boots. I'm not sure if she's gonna go mana or phase. Probably arcane, just because it's so mana hungry. Like playing Nyx, you've got some really high mana costing spells that do a lot of damage but cost a lot of your mana, and you don't have a very large mana pool because you're an agility semi-carry. So some other general information about Nyx is that he's really strong in the early game to mid game, and levels from like 6 to probably 12 are his strongest levels, especially if he can get a couple of early kills and then get a fast Dagon. And then he can basically one-shot just about anybody in the game using his combo. So notice that Nyx 937 did not block back from the place, and that's probably because he wanted to get the rune potentially, which can give you a big advantage in the lane. Now, one of the biggest reasons why Nyx is so good in mid lane is that it has he has a base damage of sorry, not base damage, a base health regen of 3.2, which is actually really good. So, for example, if you're going Quas Invoker, you have a 4 HP regen automatically, and that's one of the reasons why Invoker is so good, because he can sustain in the lane really well, despite it taking harass. With minimal regen, can still sustain in the lane. Now, it's interesting that 937 didn't go for a fast bottle. A really popular Nyx build is going for a fast bottle, where you get 3 Ironwood branches and then just go straight for a fast bottle. And notice the last hitting has so far been really good. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and let the last hits come up here. So right now Nyx is actually leading with 6 last hits and 6 denies. So kind of owning Juggernaut right now. Let me see what Juggernaut's items are. Juggernaut went for a fast bottle, and this is one of the reasons why not going for a fast bottle could be a lot better, because if you notice, Nyx does do more damage, and then also the survivability and the potential mana. Notice the first level that Nyx got was I believe, Spike Carapace, or at least that's what a lot of people recommend, because it allows you to escape if someone tries to gank you. So the skill build for Nyx is usually, Spike Carapace followed by probably 2 levels of Impale. Let me just go ahead and, just in case you don't know what the spells are, let's go ahead and go through the spells really quick. Basically, with the Impale, you have a very much like Lion or Sand King, almost very similar stun. You have these Impale things that come out of the ground and stun a target and also deal damage. So you'll see, you already saw 937 use it once. and then you've got mana burn. And the way mana burn works is that it's just as powerful, technically just as powerful early game as it is late game, but it scales much better into the late game. And let me explain why. So mana burn is basically, it takes however many intelligence points the other hero has and multiplies it times 5. And that's how much mana is burned, and that's how much damage is dealt. So let's take a look at Juggernaut. How much damage and how much mana is he going to lose every time? So he's got 18 plus 3, so 21 total intelligence right now. And so you multiply that times 5, and so it's going to do 105 damage and 105 mana burn currently. Which, think about it this way: early game, it's on a longer cooldown. It's on a higher mana cost early. So as you level it up, you can cast it faster. It goes from 28 seconds down to 4 seconds. That's really fast late game. So burning people's mana is going to be a big thing in the late game. Whereas burning it early, you're not going to do nearly as much damage. Like, think about an Invoker. At the end of the game, Invoker may have an 100 intelligence. So if you mana burn an Invoker, you're going to be doing 500 damage and 500 mana burn,
Radiant's middle
which is going to be tremendously more than if you're going to be doing it when it's really early and Invoker only has like 20, 25, 30 intelligence. So mana burn scales really good into the late game for that reason, because it's just based off of pure intelligence. And then finally you have Spike Carapace, and basically what Spike Carapace does is if anybody attacks you, it's very similar to a Blade Mail in that it'll reflect the damage and then it'll also stun them. So basically it's a way of getting away. If you have 3 people trying to gank you, you pop Spike Carapace, you can walk away, they take damage and take a stun. And so typically the skill build is Spike Carapace to protect you in case you get ganked. Then you get Impale, and then you get 2 levels of Impale, and then you get 1 level of Mana Burn, and then you get your 3rd level of Impale, and then when you get level 6, you get your ult. So, got the ult. And this is a very typical skill build. That did a lot of damage. Now, Juggernaut is good against Nyx in that because he's spinning, the Spike Carapace doesn't actually damage him. Now, if Juggernaut were to attack while he was not spinning, he would obviously get stunned, but because he's spinning, he's magic immune. So there's a good combo right there with the Impale and the Mana Burn combo together. Let's see here, Juggernaut have his bottle. So Juggernaut's bottle crowing, he's going to be able to sustain a lot of this harassment. Let's see, 937 only has 1 one bottle charge left. My dog is playing with a bottle right behind me. Apologize. He's a little rascal. So now that Nyx is level 6, basically it's like go time for trying to kill people. So notice he's going to send 1 illusion, and I haven't watched this before. He's going to send 1 illusion to make people think that he's still mid. He's going to Vendetta up, and basically what Vendetta does is it allows you to get a, oh boy, this is quite the combo. Oh my goodness. Can you get both of these people? That would be amazing. Oh, we got 1. He's not going to have the mana to be able to do it. If he had... Oh, he might now. Oh, he's going to use the illusion to block. Oh goodness.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Juggernaut thought the other one was real, I think. Plus, Juggernaut's ult wouldn't have been good there because all the creep wave was there and it would have absorbed all the Omni Slash hits. I was afraid Juggernaut was going to ult and there was more than that there. So, anyway, so 937's got a kill, which is really good. Oh man, he might die. Notice he popped the... Look at all 3 of them are stunned. Oh my goodness. Perfect Impale to stun all 3. Almost. Look at how low these 3 people are. It's ridiculous. And that's why you get Spike Carapace. You always want to get Spike Carapace. So, it's so good. The survivability that you get from it, especially if you can do it before you get stunned. Yeah. So basically, you max Impale, then you max Spike Carapace. Always get your ult whenever you can. So it's 6 and 11 and 16, and then you get Mana Burn last. So it looks like Nyx is going to be TPing top, maybe? No, I don't know why. I think I think he should have TP'd. Okay, well. So he's, and notice he, as a good player, 937 is constantly
Dire's top
checking
tower is under
their
attack.
the enemy team's player items. He's clicking on them to see what if they have, you know, if they've got, if they're building something, you know, who's
Dire's
got the
top
mech,
tower
who's
has
got, you know, the
fallen.
blink dagger, or, you know, that kind of stuff. So bam, look at that, he's just a 2-hit. Vendetta is so good at killing supports. Like that's honestly, oh my goodness. Oh, I thought that was a friendly the Shrek thing. I was like, they got him, and they didn't. No, the Shrek's on the other team,
Dire's
so.
top tower is under attack.
And then Edict obviously is going to push them back because they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to do anything. That was brutal. Notice he tried to bait Centaur into attacking him, so he would get stunned.
Dire's
He's
bottom
probably going
tower
to impale
is under
backwards.
attack.
Yeah, impale backwards to escape. And the good thing about Spike Carapace too is it's so cheap, and yet it can do so much damage to the enemy team if you can time it right. It's almost like a puck phase shift. It's very cheap, easy to do. Let's see, what's not easy to do, but
Dire's
easy
bottom tower is
easy
under
to use in
attack.
that it's low mana cost. A lot of them take a lot of mana. A lot of escape tools do. So you don't really want to use Vendetta to escape. You want to use it to be offensive. Got 3 people here. That guy's totally dead. That was a really well-timed gank there.
Dire's bottom tower
And of
is
course, that's
under
one of the
attack.
strongest combos in the game. The
Dire's
Shadow Demon
structures are
followed by the Shrek Split Earth. So, looking at Nyx Assassin's build,
Dire's bottom tower.
he's got a Null Talisman. Ooh, good job, Queen of Pain.
Sound of
Null Talisman, Mana Boots, and a bottle. And obviously this is going to give him lots of mana regen with the Mana Boots. And it also increases his mana pool tremendously. So he can cast 2 additional
Dire's
Impales
middle tower is
or
under attack.
an Impale Mana Burn combo every time. Good. Notice he popped that Spike Carapace right away. Oh my goodness. Oh, is he going to be able to survive this? Impale in 2. Oh, nope. Wasn't able to. Shadow Demon. Yeah, Shadow Demon's ult. Finished him off. So that was really risky. He needed his teammates to go in at the same time, and his teammates just weren't there yet. So 937 kind of really messed that up. So I'm curious if 937 is going to go with the Dagon next. I would assume so. And there's just Walrus Punch. I mean, it seems the most logical thing that he would probably go for a Dagon next. Now he's gonna TP bottom. His goal here is to kill a support. And the perfect game for Nyx to play against, the perfect team for him to play against, is one with lots of supports. So ones that he can easily 2-shot in the early game to get his farm. Oh, beautiful. They were together. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was really well done. Seriously, that was excellent. I mean, it was really unfortunate how the other enemy team lined up for them. And now with the Mana Boots, he's almost at full regen. He did his full combo. He used all 4 of his spells and got a double kill. So, and that's just to be clear. So what you want to do whenever you're playing Nyx, you're going to get your Vendetta, which is your ultimate. Go invis, and Vendetta's going to give you movement speed and bonus damage when you first attack. So right now when he uses Vendetta and he attacks, he's going to get 400 bonus damage on top of his base damage. So that's 480 damage basically he's going to do. Obviously reduction with armor and stuff like that at the same time. And then, so what you do is you pop your ultimate, you attack, right click, you drop your Impale, then you drop your Mana Burn, and if he turns to attack you or stun you, then you pop your Spike Carapace. Or if anyone else turns to attack you. Notice he had his ultimate. Ooh, just in time. Perfect. Oh boy, he's probably gonna die. He's gonna go down here. Notice he tried to wait until Juggernaut was done. Oh my god. What a perfect example of when to pop your Spike Carapace. Like he waited until Juggernaut's spin was done. He could have popped it right away, but Juggernaut wouldn't have been stunned because he's magically immune when he's spinning. So he waited until his spin was done, popped the Spike Carapace, which allowed him to get away. Otherwise, he would have died almost for sure there. Juggernaut did have his Omni Slash available at the time, so This Tusk is he's a fun character. If you haven't had a chance to play Tusk yet, like he just came out, but he's a lot of fun. Juggernaut's Omni Slash there, doing a good job. Yeah, there's nothing you can do really when he's spinning, unless you have something that can go through
Dire's
magical
bottom
immunity.
tower is under attack.
Nice. That was a good example of how to use Tusk's abilities there. See if you can kill him here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Centaur's playing this really smart. He didn't attack Nyx until afterwards. Oh, great job with the what's that ability called? I haven't remember. Ice shards. That was a great job with the ice shards there from Tusk. I've been playing him. I'm gonna probably put out a video pretty soon about Tusk, because he's such a fun character and he's brand new. So a lot of people I think are gonna want a guide for Tusk.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So Lion can't do anything while Juggernaut's spinning. So I feel like Lion wants revenge. I can tell.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
He wants him. Great job. It's the gem, and see the gem. The gem is what counters Nyx. Gem and Sentries. Okay, so not really. Like, so ultimately, the best thing to counter Nyx is going to be 5-manning. You want to, if you see the other team gets a Nyx on their team, what you want to do is pick guys that are going to be really great 5-manners. So, for example, you want to have early team fight. You don't want to have a player that basically has to sit and farm for 30 minutes before she can fight. I mean, you want someone who can farm for 10 minutes and then be effective and kill the other team. So, like, a good example of that would be like a Luna, who becomes really strong even at level 6. Oh man, is he gonna be able to get him? All his abilities are down. Spike Carapace is back up again. This is an interesting duel. Walrus Punch. And it didn't get him. Now that Walrus Punch is really good, but it's not that powerful early because you have to get damage items to basically increase the amount of damage that it does. Because basically, Walrus Punch, what it does is just gives 300% damage if they're above 50 HP, 50% HP, or oh, he should TP in here. Oh, he's already used his Vendetta ult. Snap. So yeah, Walrus Punch, it does 300% crit. If you do it, if they have more than 50% HP, or if they have less than 50%, it does 400% crit. So, and that's how much health they have. If they have more than 50% health or less than 50% health, and it's actually really good. Oh my goodness! He wasted his Spike Carapace there, unfortunately. That wasn't so good. Lion, that was good on Lion's part. He's gonna go down here. There's no way. Yeah, he's dead. He's just waiting, I think, for this.
I forgot about the kick on that one.
Oh my goodness! So he had Soul Catcher on him, which basically allowed him, Shadow Demon cast a Soul Catcher, which basically did bonus damage to Nyx, and so I thought for sure he was going to die there. So that's what that array was on him, and looks like it's like only level 3, but I bet you if it was level 4 he would have died. Oh my goodness, Tusk and Centaur is such a good combo if you do it right. Oh, gets Juggernaut. Perfect. Now, notice, some people would be like, well, he didn't actually use his ult. And actually, Nyx was not able to use his ult because he actually impaled. And the reason he did that, obviously, is because he would have had a hard time, or he would not have been able to get to him in time. So he was able to get the impale off, which disrupted the TP. It did waste the Vendetta, but that's okay. The Vendetta gets a lower and lower cooldown. Like on level 2, the cooldown is 60 seconds, and the level 1 is only 70 seconds, so that's really not that long. It allows you to gank every minute and a half, basically. And then at the end, at level 3, your duration is 50, and the cooldown is 50, so you can technically be invis like the entire time. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the impale off. I doubt it. Oh, that was a hard impale to get off. Wow. Oh my gosh. Centaur and Tusk is ridiculous. This guy's, I don't see how he can make it out of this.
3, 2,
Yep.
1, revenge.
That's just such a good combo. Like, this is seriously, these 4 people together, so good. Another example of a good low farm hero is Juggernaut. Like basically, like Juggernaut doesn't require that much farm to be able to solo kill people and do lots of damage. So, oh, there goes a tower. Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the gold graph. Looks like the Radiant is getting just way in the lead. They're up 7,500 gold right now. On XP, that Dire are actually in the lead. Wow. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. Take a look at what we got on these different heroes here. Quap just has 2 Niltals and Power Treads. Lion has virtually nothing at all. But Lifestealer, he's almost got his amulet and he's got Power Treads already and he's got a Hanamitis. So really Lifestealer is like their one saving grace. Let's go ahead and go to gold per minute. You can see Lifestealer is up there, but the simple fact is these 3 guys, Leshreek and Juggernaut, are killing so many people. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to Nyx here. Tusk is going to die. Who picked up the Aegis? Did Juggernaut pick up the Aegis? Yeah, Juggernaut has the Aegis, and he also has an Invis rune, which he popped the moment that he found out they were all attacking him. And sorry I kind of missed the beginning of that team fight, but yeah, so looks like Lifestealer is leading the Dire. But really, this isn't that big of a gold advantage, in my opinion. I don't know, because the gold is on supports, and they're like Lifestealer is a harder carry than Juggernaut, and so Lifestealer I think has more potential to ultimately carry the game in the end if he can get enough farm. And again, I have no clue who wins this, so right now I do think that the Radiant definitely have a big advantage, but it's certainly not over by any means. And now he's got the Dagon, so notice the combo there. Vendetta, Impale, Mana Burn, Dagon, and then Spike Carapace if he tries to stun you or prevent you from finishing him off. And notice how much damage that did. Like Vendetta did 400, basically 500 damage. Spike Carapace would have stunned them. Mana Burn on Centaur wouldn't do that much.
Killing spree.
Mana Burn on Centaur only does 120 damage and burns a bunch of mana, and same amount of mana. And then obviously the Impale does 260. So, and the Dagon does 400. So, 900 damage between Vendetta and Dagon, and then 260 if you land your Impale. So that's 1,150 damage, and then your Mana Burns another 150 on him. So you're talking about 1,300 damage right off the bat without any right clicks. Then you add a couple of right clicks in there before he's actually able to move and respond. So basically, you're able to do about 1,400 actual damage all in a row. And he Dagons and almost can kill him in one hit. He's not going to be able to pull it off though. Shadow Demon ulted, slowed him down, and yeah. So Shadow Demon is able to counter him there and keep Centaur alive. And basically, this starts to get to the point where Nyx may not be the best because, like for example, he's as Centaur and some of the other carries gain HP. Nyx's burst damage isn't going to be able to one-shot them. So basically, Nyx is going to have to resort to basically only killing supports. And if the supports are constantly with the tankier heroes and they're hanging around each other, you're not going to be able to pick them off. So if you're playing against the Nyx, what you want to do is start doing 5-man Dota right away as soon as possible. Otherwise, Nyx is going to have freedom. Oh my gosh, poor line. Otherwise, they're going to be able to instantly pick you off. Oh my gosh. I just feel bad for these guys right now. And Lifestealer's down. Nyx is about to come back right now. I wonder if he's going to. Okay, so he Vendetta. already back in the
Dire's
pool.
structures are fortified.
Lifestealer bought back.
Radiant's
They
bottom
popped the
tower
Aegis.
is under attack.
Notice that was really smartly done too. Because what he did is he stunned one and killed the other with Vendetta.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
So he
Dire's
killed
middle tower
Centaur
has fallen.
and stunned the
Radiant's
Shrek,
top
so he
tower is
would
under
get retaliated on basically. Oh, he's gonna be able to. That was. Oh, you missed him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Mana burns him. Yep. Dagon's almost up, so if he can get in range and get a stun off, get a stun, got a stun. That was
Radiant's
well done.
top tower is under
So
attack.
wow, they actually 5-man wiped him. Well, technically, probably not a 5-man wipe because there was a couple buybacks there, but they were able to save the racks. And let's go ahead and take a look at the gold graph again. Should have swung back and forth a little bit. Experience went down and then up and then back down. So right now the Dire have an experience lead. Still looks like the Radiant have a gold lead. But the gold lead has, let's see, it's dipping down. You have to give it a minute to update, but basically it's going to probably dip down to probably around maybe the 5,000 range. Certainly the start of a comeback. And part of the reason that they have the experience lead is because of Lifestealer's Tandemitis, because it gives you 2.5 times experience. And if you use that on a large group, you can get a lot of extra experience. Let's go back to Nyx here. I know there's some action in the mid lane, but I want this video to primarily focus on Nyx. So he's upgraded his Dagon twice now. It does 600 damage, and basically one of the most important things you can do as Nyx is if you can stay ahead of the game, basically. If you can stay ahead of the game, constantly having enough damage. Oh goodness, this guy's so dead. So he was actually able to one-shot him there, because he's got the upgraded Dagon. If he did not have the upgraded Dagon, he would not have been able to kill him. At least nearly as quickly anyway. He's got the haste rune, so he should be able to kill. Should be able to get him. Oh, he missed. Oh gosh. Just barely missed him. Oh, he is able to get the, whatever it's called. The sigil. Oh, he just had his Vendetta just in time. That was so lucky. Okay, so he's getting his mana back with some bottle charges. And he's got enough mana to pull off his chain. Oh my goodness. Nice. That was that was really, he's like so low and he was able to still get a double kill there. And he's dead now. Centaur has just got such good burst damage with that double blade. Especially with Blink, you can blink on them, do your double blade, and then it's only got like a 4-second cooldown, I think, on Centaur. Yeah, double edge, and it's 400 damage. It's just insane. So we'll go back to Nick. He's paying attention to. Do you guys remember when Centaur was just ridiculous with you? It was like such a low cooldown on his ult, like 60 seconds I think. And it's just constantly everyone had haste. Bad time to get your Juggernaut ult. Basically Juggernaut, if you don't know, Juggernaut is just insanely powerful if you are isolated. You never want to isolate yourself away from creeps when facing him one-on-one, because otherwise his Omni Slash will only attack you, or just your friendlies, and that is a lot of farm. Really low health. Lifestealer's like, give it to me, I want.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Let's take a look at Lifestealer's items now. He's got his arm lit up, and he's got a Maelstrom up actually. Nice. And what Maelstrom does is it gives you a 25% chance to chain attack. See that? And it does 120 damage whenever it chain attacks. So basically every now and then you're just going to increase your DPS, especially if the enemy team is like in the area. And it also increases your farming rate because it'll zap the jungle creeps right around it. So I'm going to switch back to Nyx here. Just in time to see a kill. Oh. And look at that, he almost didn't have to do a mana burn. It was just a Vendetta, Impale, Dagon, and bam, assassinated. So Dagon's level 4 now. Does 700 damage plus Vendetta doing 550 damage plus Nyx is 100 base damage. So that's 650 plus 700, 1350 damage plus 260 damage. Oh, Vendetta just in time. Oh my god. He should have popped his spike Carapace there. It would have actually prevented them from getting away. Or at least Centaur for sure. Oh, that was a really interesting escape attempt there. Good Impale, good mana burn. And again, mana burn gets a really low cooldown at level 4. It's only a 4-second cooldown, so you want to do that as often as possible. Oh my goodness.
Dominate.
Nice.
Thrice
So,
be
and
nice.
that's the disadvantage of Juggernaut. Juggernaut can solo people really well, but if you guys are basically if there's multiple targets, Juggernaut's damage is just not enough to kill multiple people. Maybe up to 2, like 2 supports together, he'd be able to kill, but not 2 people with high HP. And and that's honestly why Juggernaut doesn't scale as well into the late game, unless you build him specifically for
Radiant's
like
bottom
DPS.
tower has been
Using like a
denied.
Manta style, and like I saw a game where he actually outcarried a Lifestealer, but that was only because he did a very weird build, and he has to like get a really good gold advantage to be able to do that. It was a pro game recently for the Premier League. I've been following them. I got the Vermilion Courier. So actually, if you look at the gold per minute now, Nyx is actually in second with 384, and that's only because 937 has been getting lots of gank kills over and over again. And then Lifestealer's up there really far at 504, and I don't think Lifestealer has not even been kills. It's only 3, 3, and 9. And it's look at the giant Roshan frog. That's awesome. But Lifestealer is just really high gold per minute, just because he's got that freaking Hanamitis, and he's farming the jungle really effectively. Okay, we're gonna have a big Roshan fight. Looks like Nyx went back to the pool to regen up his mana and health, and he looks like they brought him in to Nyx, and they're gonna do a Lifestealer bomb. Good timing. That's good. He's gonna do another. Oh, can he actually get a kill here? He needs to turn around and Impale. No, he's not gonna be able to get it. Looks like the Radiant are winning this fight pretty handedly. So he goes down, and Lifestealer's gonna try to rage out of here, but it's not gonna last. Oh, someone should just stun him. Shadow Demon couldn't disrupt him.
Radiant's top tower
Now
is
they
under
might not get him.
attack.
They might not get him. They let him go. Like, I don't understand why Shadow Demon didn't disrupt him. Like, he could have definitely done it there.
Radiant's
Can
top
Nyx
tower
buy back
is under
here?
attack.
I don't
Dire
think there's good
structures are
right
fortified.
Lifestealer can't buy back right now. Oh my goodness, this Lifestealer's like trying to take on the whole team, and he might even be able to do it because he's just got so much more damage on Lifesteal than anyone else.
Radiant's top tower is
Of course,
under
Lifestealer
attack.
have the Aegis, and basically Radiant's running for the hills right now. They freaking can't. They can't take on this Lifestealer. Lifestealer's just gonna outcarry them now. They took too long. If they wanted to win this game, Radiant needed to push harder and actually win team fights a little bit earlier. Why didn't Queen of Pain take that? I'm so confused right now. Oh, that was a great move by Shadow Demon though. Is he actually hidden back here?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Look at this. He's actually hidden. That was so smart. Okay, we go back to Nyx's perspective.
Radiant's middle tower
Notice that,
is
I mean,
falling.
Nyx now at level 3 can just stay in
Pain
Vendetta
is the
form
be-
all the time. What's Nyx? Is Nyx, is he looking? Oh no, he's not, okay. Oh, why? I don't understand. Why did Shadow Demon come out? Maybe he didn't know Lifestealer was there farming the ancients. That's just silly. It's so ridiculous. It's like a horrible fail. So they're gonna do another infest bomb here. They might be able to get a double kill. Yeah, I mean, Life Stealer is just so hard to face at this point. It's gonna mana burn him again. And at this point, Dagon only has a 15-second cooldown. So even in one team fight, he's gonna be able to do multiple 800 damage bursts. Like Dagons are they're just so good. Like as they level up, they become exponentially better. They cost less mana, lower cooldown, more damage. But again, the problem is when people get like a heart, your Dagon isn't gonna even like hardly phase them. It's gonna take off like a quarter of their HP. That's a good split earth there. A good follow-up by Centaur. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, Leshreck, I don't know what he was doing. He's not going to do anything when there's a whole bunch of friendly creeps too to tank part of that edict. Oh, I think Nyx tried to deny Slardar there. That was hilarious. Interesting, they smoke up when they're retreating. It doesn't really, I don't see how that would help.
Is under attack.
I mean, it's nighttime, they're going to have to be so close to you that the smoke's going to reveal you anyway. Looks like Nyx is going to go for that regen rune. What is he going to get next? He's got 2,800 gold. He goes for the Ghost Scepter. And the reason he's going for this is, like this is one game where I think a Ghost Scepter might not be a good idea. And that's simply because Ghost Scepters, I don't know, I guess, well, alright, so basically, Ghost Scepters allow you to, if someone's got like lots of carry potential, like a Drow or like a DPS physical DPS hero, Ghost Scepter turns it into the ghost form and prevents physical attacks from attacking you, but you take additional magic damage. And this is a game where you don't want to take additional magic damage because almost all of Radiant's damage is in magic, so it's not really going to help you very much if you've got the ghost form. Now, I think what he's probably going for is an ethereal blade. I don't know, we'll see. Because then, if he can turn someone into ethereal form, it allows them to basically do like bonus damage to the enemy, as well as giving them him a nice burst. Oh my gosh. That's so much damage coming out. Nyx is, like, with its Dagon and Vendetta combo, he's going to be able to almost one-shot almost anything in the game right now, because none of them have the gold necessary to actually get a heart. Like, if Centaur got a heart, and if Tusk got a heart, there'd be no way that Nyx, like, the Nyx's damage potential is in that he can basically burst down a hero by himself. And if you're grouping up to 5 man, Nyx's potential for damage is much less. And then if you're also, if you can just get those big health items, Nyx all of a sudden, like, he goes on you and he does like half his damage, and then he can't even damage you anymore. Like, that's the thing. Like, Nyx doesn't have any sustainable DPS. But that's why he's a ganking hero. He's not. That's why he's not a hard carry. He's just a semi carry. We rely on him to basically shut down and farm the supports basically on the other team, which 937 has done really, really well. He's even managed to get some kills on Juggernaut, like 2 or 3 kills on Juggernaut. So looks like Slardar definitely oversteps his bounds there. It's kind of stupid of him. Quap is playing Lookout right now. Apparently they have an observer ward up there. And wow, Nyx Assassin's damage is so insane right now. Wow. See, yeah, like right there, Nyx, there's no point in having a Ghost Scepter because Nyx is just going to take more damage if he pops the Ghost Scepter, because it's like all magic damage from the Radiant right now. I don't think, let me see what Juggernaut's Omni Slash is. It's physical, so I guess basically it would prevent Omni Slash from continuing on you if you pop a Ghost Scepter. But other than that, I don't know. I think that's like the only really physical DPS that the Radiant have right now. I'm going to go to Nyx's player perspective again. So right now, the Dire team has just tremendously more carry potential with Lifestealer. So I think that Lifestealer should outcarry the Radiant. But I guess we'll see. I want to see Nyx get an Ethereal Blade, and the reason you would get the Ethereal Blade is that when they're in Ghost form, let me go out of this again. When they're in Ghost form, basically convert you target unit. I think it works the same way. I think you take 40% extra magic damage. So basically your Dagon then goes and does 1200 damage, and your Mana Burn does that much more damage. And Mana Burn is extremely good against some of these supports like Leshrek and Shadow Demon, because like Mana Burn on Leshrek does 93 times 5, so 480 damage with Mana Burn on Leshrek, and burns that much mana. And Shadow Demon does 86 damage, so I'm going to go back to perspective here. Alright guys. So Lifestealer is just, I don't think there's a way that they can take down Lifestealer now. Looks like Lifestealer, did he get a... Okay, he's got a Skull Patcher. He bot. I don't know what he's... Marvin Zaval, this person. I don't know what it is, but going back to Nyx here. He almost has enough for that Ethereal Blade.
Radiant's middle tower.
I'm really curious to see if the Radiant is able to hold on to this, because this almost seems like GG to me.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Shadow Demon ulted, Lifestealer there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Lifestealer is...
Radiant's middle tower is under
I don't know why he
attack.
just infest... What did he just
Dire's
infest
bottom
Nyx?
tower is
He's like
under
wasted his
attack.
infest. Like he could have invested in creep and gotten a bunch of
Radiant's
HP back.
middle tower
But he,
has fallen.
maybe he misclicked or something. Looks like they're going to take Rax. I don't know if there's anything... Oh, they're going to kill Lifestealer. And now Lifestealer's dead. They're going to have to back up, because Lifestealer is like all of their sustained DPS in this game right now, basically. He's the one that's so far ahead in farm. And Nyx basically, like I said, Nyx cannot go against 5 people. He can't escape against 5 people. He can only basically nuke 1 down, maybe 2 if they're both low, and then get away. That's what Nyx does. And sometimes he can't even get away if there's, you know, if there's 3 people in a single location, they can just stun him and chain stun him down and kill him.
Unleashed once more upon the
Okay, well,
world.
Lifestealer bought back, and he has to buy back, otherwise they're going to lose Rax. And it's kind of lucky that he had buyback.
Soldier.
Slidar bought back as well, because this is basically the game on the line. If they were to lose right now, or if they were to die right now, they would have to... sorry, if the Dire were to die right now, like any of them were to die, basically it would have been over. So, then they were playing 3 versus 5. So, they would have almost for sure lost that, especially since Lifestealer was dead, so buyback was necessary. And I'm probably just pointing out the obvious thing for most of your Dota players, but I suppose some of you guys are still pretty new. Looks like they're going to do another infest bomb. I think they should just rush. I guess they're the Dire... oh god, my dog is scratching my leg. Oh, what a perfect shard, ice shard. Blocking them in for a full 5 seconds. And poor Slardar, he's like done nothing. Oh my goodness. Poor Nyx can't do jack shit right now. They still managed to kill Lifestealer. I mean, and honestly, that's just a big surprise to me. Well done. I don't know if he's not gonna get away from this. There's no way. Yeah, he's dead.
Double kill. Who is a Nyx Assassin?
Nyx bought back, and the reason he bought back is because the the Radiant is chasing all of the Dire players, and Nyx could definitely pick them off really effectively. It doesn't look like Nyx is going to get enough gold to get this Ethereal Blade, which is kind of disappointing. I would love to see basically a fully formed, I don't know, it's like fully farmed Nyx. Managed to stun him. Oh my goodness, he's gonna kill him. Oh my gosh. My dog is so distracting. He wants me to play fetch with him right now. I've got a little Sheltie. He's adorable. His name is Zeus. He's like 15 pounds. Looks like a miniature lassie. But I'm really surprised. I would honestly want to pay more attention to what Lifestealer's doing, because Lifestealer's really, I think, throwing the game right now. Like, there's no real reason why he should die. In my opinion, he's got so much more health and HP, and he's got a default, really good default lifesteal option. He's got an armlet. He's just got so much going for him. And he's got an MKB now too. So he just does tons of damage, 314 damage per whack, and that doesn't include Feast.
Radiant's bottom tower
Feast also life leeches 7% and gives him 7%. He's still using that Handamitis, and the Handamitis is pretty useful, though he should probably get rid of that pretty soon. Like, if I was him, I probably would have sold it right now, because if he sold the Handamitis, it might mean that he might have buyback. You know, if he gets a kill, gets 2,000 gold, and then dies, he loses it, and then doesn't have buyback. That could mean the game. So this is probably the best time to sell your Handamitis, in my opinion, making sure you have buyback. So right now, what they're trying to do is just basically get a kill, and then try to take high ground. Take like another Rax. So they already got the melee Rax in mid, but they want to get another Rax. So. I'm not sure how they're going to want to initiate this. Honestly, I feel like Slardar would be a good initiator. He could, he doesn't have Blink. It's kind of unfortunate. He's obviously got his sprint ability, followed by his smashing ability, the Crush, which can stun. So he's a decent initiator, but obviously he's not as good as he could be. So they initiate with another Infest Bomb.
Did you not?
Quap, I feel like, really whiffs the ulti. If she picks up Juggernaut's Aegis. Nice.
I'm a pain.
This might be game right here. I don't know. Probably is. If they pick off those three and they don't have buyback, does Juggernaut have buyback? Juggernaut does not have. Juggernaut does not have buyback.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But I'll take it.
Radiant's bottom
Good
tower
splitter, so they just don't have any
Radiant's bottom
DPS.
tower has fallen.
Juggernaut was their main DPS, and that's only primarily with the ult, which is really gimmicky.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Really good combo though between Lestrak and Shadow Demon here to really lock down Nyx there.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Well done. Oh, Crop almost killed him.
Radiant's middle barracks, Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Well, I think this game is pretty much over. So what are some other options that you can continue on this? There really aren't that many. You don't really want to build him. You don't really want to build him for pure DPS. This is not the these are not the items. Player perspective.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, yeah. So drums, potentially a heart, maybe a Necronomicon. And then obviously a sheep stick would also potentially be good, just because it allows you the additional lockdown on heroes, and they didn't quite get mega creeps. There's a gem of true sight just chilling there. They didn't quite get mega creeps, but I mean it's pretty much
Radiant's
over.
middle tower is under
You know, they
attack.
have 3 melee barracks, and that's basically going to mean that all the lanes are going to be pushed all the time. But yeah, so like a heart would obviously give you more survivability. An Ethereal Blade allows you to do more burst damage. So if you just want pure offense, go with an Ethereal Blade, and then Scythe is kind of like to counter a hard DPS carry like Drow. But you know, these guys didn't really have anything like that. I didn't feel like this game. I mean, Juggernaut's about to put this thing to it. Maybe Tusk, kind of, because of his crit on his ult. But yeah, I really feel like probably the Ethereal Blade probably is a pretty good call. Obviously, the Necro burns mana. I don't know. I think the Ethereal Blade probably is the right call. And Nyx, I think he must have to buy back again because he just doesn't have the gold. He's gonna die. Oh, Centaur just barely misses the stun. That would have been actually really good if you could have got that. I suppose bad for the Dire team, obviously. But so we're just waiting for this to end. So I guess my question for you guys are, you know, how have you built Nyx any different than 937? And you know, is Mana Boots the best? Do you think? I feel like maybe switching out from mana would be good now because he obviously doesn't need mana with the 1800 mana. So maybe switching maybe just treads for additional survivability and attack speed, or maybe phase for additional move speed and escape action. Zeus, no, my dog is playing with my hand. I can concentrate. But I don't know. I think that's about maybe my only potential criticism. Looks like Quap got Desolator up. Yeah, Quap's got Desolator and Sheepstick, so lots of damage, and they're gonna go basically just go finish the game here. Another Infest Bomb, and I really like this combo. Using the smoke to detect if anybody's nearby, and then using the Lifestealer to basically do a whole bunch of burst damage and get the Lifestealer right in the middle of the action right away. I gotta say, I don't think that the Radiant really countered Nyx very well this game. They did, but they didn't do it enough. They didn't need to just, like, once all their supports hit level 6, pull out team fight 100% of the time, and take Brax, basically. There goes Leshreq. Shrek is down. And so is
Dire's top
Tusk.
tower is under attack.
But Juggernaut's running for his life up here.
Radiant's top
And look, I mean,
barracks are
Juggernaut
under
does
attack.
200 damage with a 35% to do a 200% crit. And that's just really not that much
Dire's top
DPS.
tower is under attack.
He went Battle Fury, and I feel like Manta. If you're gonna go for pure DPS, a Manta's a much better item. Maybe Manta than Battle Fury. Rather than Eggs. Like, Eggs is a really good mid-game item for picking people off, but Eggs just doesn't scale very well late game. Because if there's creeps or other heroes in there, you're just going to spread your damage out so much.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
And of course, Lifestealer got the Abysmal Blade up, so that basically locks people down permanently. Well, I mean, that's GG. So what do you guys think?
Ancient is under attack.
Again, how would you build Nyx differently? What hero do you want to see in the future? I'd like to hear what you guys think. And I'll be doing some more duo guys, kind of like this one. And I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you guys next time. Go subscribe. I don't have a Facebook yet, but I'm going to get one soon. So pay attention to that. And also, I'm streaming this live over at twitch.tv/QuadronTV. So, and I also post these videos up to youtube.com/QuadronTV. So if you miss out on some, be sure to go back and check that out. So Nyx Assassin, 24 and 8. Gold per minute is, 432. That's pretty good. Lifestealer obviously had the highest gold per minute, but I thought that was a pretty good example of how to play Nyx. I hope you guys learned something. I definitely feel like that was very good, and I'm not an expert Nyx player, but I think I can take some things that I learned today and probably apply them. But anyway, I will catch you guys later. Have a good one.